Magdi, I got a quick question, if I could.
Yes. Hi, Frank. Yes.
Hi. So it's funny you were talking about time in your meditation. A friend of mine and I were just talking about that before this meeting, before this meditation, and my question has been coming. This question has been appearing to me, wondering what it's really like to live in a with the sense of there being no time at all. I know that some teachers, I know that Francis Lucille has talked about being aware of sleep while his body is asleep. He's aware of that. I'm wondering what that would be like for awareness to experience this, what appears to be the sleeping time of a body, because that must be like a just a quick, snap, because there's no time. So I'm just wondering, do you have any ideas about this at all? Because I still feel like I'm very much in that time-space paradigm. Although I'm aware that there's no time, at least intellectually, but I don't know how much awareness I have of that internally as a lived experience. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So we experience time in, let's say, two different ways. One of the ways in which we experience time is by perception. We perceive time. We perceive thought, and thought refers to time. How does thought refer to time? Let's say you perceive sunrise, and then you perceive sunset. At the moment you're perceiving the sunrise, you're only perceiving the sunrise, right? That's your experience. You're perceiving the sunrise. When you're perceiving the sunset, you're perceiving the sunset. That's your experience. So there's a perception. But then there is thought that appears and says, oh, the perception of the sunrise was before the perception of the sunset. But when you're perceiving the sunset, you're just experiencing the sunset. You're not experiencing something after something else. When you're perceiving the sunrise, you are perceiving the sunrise. You are not perceiving something before something else. But thought arranges, appears and says, this is before and this is after. You also experience memory, for example, memory of a trip you did last year. This memory, when it appears to you, is just appearing to you as thoughts, images, and maybe sensations, right? But you're not experiencing something that happened a long time ago. You're perceiving right now certain thoughts, images, and sensations. But then there is thought which says, oh, this is something that happened, 2023. So in the moment of perception, in our experience, in our direct experience, we don't experience time. We just experience a certain perception, a certain sensations, and we also experience thought. And via this amalgam of experience, combination of experiences, we experience time. Oh, yes. This was last year. I was born in 1968, blah, blah, blah. We also experience time in a different way, which is via sensations, what we refer to as maybe the pressure of time or the feeling sense of time. We experience the pressure of time from a practical standpoint when, for example, we have to catch a train at 4 o'clock and the train station is half hour away and now it's 3:30. We better move our butt and get out there, catch that train. We don't have much time to play with, right? So that's from a practical perspective. We perceive the time it is on the clock. That's this chronological thing, this electronic clock, whatever it is, that says it's 3:30, and we know we just bought a ticket, and the ticket says that we need to be, the train leaves at 4. And so we experience this need to, let's go. We also experience time in another psychological dimension, which is that we're running out of time. That this life is slipping by. In fact, we never experience life slipping by. We experience a thought and a sensation that, oh my God, we're running out of time. Well, in fact, our experience is just this conversation, right? Or we're having a sandwich, or we're driving a car, or we're lying down, in bed, just relaxing. And the thought appears to us, gee, I'm 50 years old. Of course, I'm not 50 years old. The body is. And I've got, 40 more years to go. Half my life is gone, blah, 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 whatever. It can go in a flash. But then we do experience, we're running out of time, or that time is pressing us, or what have we accomplished in life, blah, blah. So when we say time does not exist, we're talking from the perspective of reality. From the perspective of reality, there is one reality, which is consciousness, which is this formless awareness, being, knowingness, Satchitananda, Satchitanda, Namarupa. This one reality. There is everything is this one reality, including the impression of time. It's the coloring of being. It's being coloring itself as time, as thought, as memory, as sensation, as identification. I am the body-mind and I'm running out of time. Of course, I'm not the body-mind. I perceive the body-mind. I perceive the aging of the body, meaning actually it requires thoughts to perceive the aging of the body, because I forgot what I looked like when I was 12 years old, but I have images, I have pictures, photos, and say, oh, that's me when I was 12 years old. Then I say, oh, well, that's me now, I'm 70, whatever. So I say, oh, that body's aging. So all of that is a realm of thought, right? The realm of mind. But in our direct experience, we don't experience ourself simultaneously being 12-year-old and being 40-year-old. We don't experience aging. It's a narrative. It's a narrative. And it's an okay narrative, because we use the narrative of the body aging because we perceive via videos, via photos, via the mirror or whatever, that, oh, this body is aging. So that's an okay narrative, that we perceive the body aging, but we are not the body which is aging. That's important, an important understanding, an important distinction, because we always are this formless awareness. It's not a body, it's not brown, black, it's not American, Chinese, Japanese, tall or short. This formless awareness has no phenomenal attributes. It's completely noumenal. So, remind me, what was your question about time, Frank?
Oh no, that's really good, Magdi. I was just wondering what, like, if your experience with it is the same as mine, or like, what is it like for you, knowing deeply that there's no time? How do you live your life like that?
It's beautiful. It's a good question, very good question. There's a complete freedom. There is a relief. And remember, when I was, younger, I was in the Technological Institute doing advanced studies and having lots of pressure to pass the exams and to so it was like a lot of studying and cramming for the exams, and there was a lot of pressure, the pressure of time. I recall the pressure of time actually from much younger than that. When I was in boarding school, I remember, yeah, they were pretty strict, and I would experience the pressure of time, which was accompanied with, of course, the fear of not excelling at my studies. Yeah. So in terms of your question, this freedom from time is freedom from being somebody, because the experience of I'm somebody is an experience of I'm in time, I exist in time. So it's my experience is, I would say, it's like your experience. It's just this ordinary mind, ordinary experience, but it has less in it. It does not have anxiety, worry, concern. There's an inner peace. But I perceive the sunrise and the sunset like everybody does. I perceive chronological time like everybody does. I'm aware that there are certain things that I need to do on Tuesday and on Thursday, but is nothing at stake. Is no personal concern. Of course, there is a responsibility, like I have to accomplish something on Tuesday for particular reasons. So the fact that there is no inner concern does not mean that there is negligence or lack of care or lack of attending or tending to what I need to tend to. A lot of things I need to tend to, and I'm right there doing what needs to be done, you see. But inwardly, it's the experience of peace and freedom. The main thing to say about what is relevant in my experience of sleep is that in the dream state, what has shifted is that there is no longer in the dream state the sense of me. So I don't experience, like I used to in the past, fear or concern or something's happening in the dream, and I'm, this nightmares, sort of the whole family of nightmares. Some nightmares are worse than others, but all of that is no longer part of my dream experience. But I do notice there are, images in my dream state, and there is a certain segments are somehow they make sense, and then suddenly something else is. So it's like, I guess it's a dream images. Well, from my perspective, the main significant shift is the freedom from the me in the dream. The bulk of the work, of the contemplation, of the understanding, is in the waking state. The contemplation is in the waking state, and it carries over into the dream state. One more thing I could say about the experience of consciousness is that it's never sleeping. It never sleeps. This ordinary mind is God's mind.